Okay, welcome. And my name is Peng Chen. I'm ready to stand up here to learn the Swift programming language with you today. And I'm gonna introduce the very basic part of the Swift language today and get started with the Swift. So what is a Swift? Swift is kind of a programming language which is used to realize the app that you want to build on your mobile device. And it's kind of like many other programming languages like C or Python, but it's kind of more consensus and smarter and better to understand. So as you can see, this is the official website of the Apple, the Swift 4. And there is like some open resources with the Swift like introduction of the Swift, and also this is like funny part. It's like the Learn Swift on iPad. Like actually there is an app which is called the Swift Playground, so that you can download the app and follow the comment to see how powerful the code is and how Swift realize have the connection with the apps, how it realize your app, okay? And some open resources. So next, so how could you build your app through Swift? Like there is like one tool which is really necessary to develop your code on that platform, which is called the Xcode. So where did you get Xcode? On the Apple Store, when you type Xcode, hold on, and you will see on the upper left corner there is Xcode. It's a free tool, and you can download from your Apple Store to the Mac, and then you can use it to write in the Swift programming language on that tools and to realize your apps. Because I'm also a beginner to learn the Swift, so I have some recommendations for you guys. There's one book which is really useful for learning Swift by yourself, which is called the Swift Programming Language. In the iBook store, when you type the Swift Programming Language, okay, you can find on the upper left corner there is a Swift Programming Language, Swift 4. Swift 4 is a version of currently using, and this book is from Apple, and you can download it. It's also free, and when you read it, okay, and on the table of content is actually introduced the very basic part of the Swift, and it's covered almost everything. Every part of Swift, how the rule of this programming, everything. So you can check what you need and the definition of each part. Okay, so it's pretty cool. Okay, next, I would like to introduce how to some very basic part of the Swift programming language. Okay, so when you first time to open the Xcode, after you download it, okay. Okay. So as you can see on the open window, there's three parts. Which first one is to get started with the playground, which means you can just get familiar with the Swift, like play the coding around to see what the output is, and create a new Xcode project, which means that you have to, you can just use this part to create apps and to connect some user interface to your code. But that part actually requires you have to register an Apple development license, which means when you go to the Apple developer official account, okay, you have to sign in with your Apple ID. Okay, and there's like verification code. Okay. So I already buy the certificate or ID profile so that I can use some open resources from Apple. But when you first time to log in, you will see like you have to pay for the development license, which is cost like $99 for individual per year. I'm not really sure about a group developer. So when you actually want to build your apps, you might have to register the membership with a license. Okay. So today we just focus on the playground to get some very basic part of Swift, like the role of the language. So first of all, let's get started with the playground. Okay, sure. So first get started with the playground, and this is blank, right? Okay. Next. Okay, you have to choose a path that you store your files. So I choose my desktop and the developer and create. Okay. So as you can see, there's like story main window that you can just type your code, and there's like 3 labels on the upper right corner. This is show the debug area, and it will tell you the output of each code, and there is also the left part, which are utilities that we're gonna use, but we're gonna not use today. And you can hide it by clicking again. And there is a left part which will show the navigators, like some the files paths and the hierarchies and the searchings, this kind of. Okay, and you can also click again to hide it. Okay, so today I'm gonna first talk about the constants and the variables, like the vocabulary of each language. So we use in Swift, we use let to define a constant. So for example, we let number equal to 10. This is basically tell you it's like English language, English sentence. You can also you can just directly say that let number equal to 10, but you have to pay attention. That number is a constant, and you can never change it. When you want to change it, it can be changed. If we want to change it, okay, and you have number equal to 9, 0 equals error, okay, because it will mention that cannot assign to a value number because it's a constant. So if you want to change a number, you have to assign the value to a variable. So how could we declare a variable? We use var variable equal to 9. Okay, the variable is a 9. Okay, and you can change it whenever you want. So we can right now change it to 8. Okay, right now it will become 8, and you can print it out to see. Okay, so it's 8. So the first rule is constant cannot be changed, but a variable could be. Okay, you can change a variable. Okay, next I would like to introduce a type annotation of the Swift. So Swift is a very type specified language, which means that everything that you use will have a specific type. So when you want to, for example, you want a number to be a string, how could you specify it? We just add a column after the number, and we told it string, okay, which is equal to hello. Okay, so the column means the column string means what? It means the column means is type of. Okay, so this sentence could be said that let numbers string let number is a type of string which is equal to hello. Okay, so the column means is type of. Okay, so now it's a string, and it's also constant. And this is like a small tips that I want to teach you guys. when you press the option which is located on the lower left part of the keyboard, you will see this is like question mark. Okay, when you click the question mark, it will actually told you what is a string, like how it will used. Okay, like for and provided with some examples to help you define what you want to know. Okay, this is a small tricky. And also you can find numbers and string. Then it will transfer you to the official documentations. Actually, you can search what you want, for example, like int. Okay, and you can see what is int. It will have the definitions and some examples to better help you to understand what is int, as well as other functions. You can always search what you want to know in the official document. So I highly recommend you to use these kinds of resources to help you better understand and to learn Swift. Okay, so after that, I would like to see you can also define multiple variables in a single line by commas with the same type. Okay, how could you do that? For example, var x okay, x, y, z, which is all doubles. Okay, for example. Okay, what's this mean? This means variable x, y, z are of types of doubles. Okay, so and at that time you can just assign value to them. For example, x equal to 10, y equal to 8, z equal to 7. Because they are variables, you can change it anytime, and you can print it out to see what they are. Y, z. Okay, so you will see, and you can also change them to int, integers. Okay, that's the type of notation of the Swift. Okay, so the third part I would like to say is how could you naming a constant on variables. So remember that you can't naming a constant or variables starting by a number, which means the name of the constant and variables can't be any number of the beginner. So if you want to let 8 byte equal to 10, this is gonna not work. Okay, it will set expected digital opt integer literal prefix. Okay, unexpected pattern. So which means you can't start with a variable and a constant with numbers. That's will forbid it. Okay. So but you can start with a constant by some union code, like any letters. That would be fine. For example, you can even start with an emoji. So for example, you want emoji. Okay, we can start with emoji. For example, we want animals like a dog. Okay, we can also let dog equal to a string dog. Okay, and when we print it out, dog. Come see. Okay. So it will actually see. Okay, see, dog. Okay. Okay. And you can also see like var. For example, we could use like still use emoji. Okay. Right. The type of string equal to oops. Okay. and we can change it at any time. For example, equal to okay, and you can print it out. Okay, see? Okay, you can print it out. Okay, so this is basically part of the naming the constant of variables and the type annotation and the basic declaration of the constant variables. At that time, I will also introduce how to comment statements with Swift. So basically, you can use double slash as this one to comment the statement, which is telling the user what this line of code talking about. Okay, for example, this line code is talking about like let number is type of string equal to hello. Okay. Hello. Okay. But when you want to comment several lines, you could use like the star one, which is same as C and Python. So beginning with a slash and a star, and with a star slash. Okay, you can comment at any time. Okay, and compared to the C and Python, Swift does not require that you have to end each statement with a semicolon, but you do have to use a semicolon when you have multiple statements in one line. For example, if you want to let dog equal to dog, and also print the dog sign at the same line, you have to use a semicolon. At this time, you can use a semicolon. Okay, it works, but you cannot directly add print statement on this line without semicolon. That will cause error. Okay, see. Consecutive statement on line must be separated by a semicolon. Okay. So this is just the basic part of the constant variables and the type of annotation, naming constant variables, and some basic comments and the semicolon introduction of the Swift. This because I'm also a self-learner, I want to learn with you guys. So if you have some further comments or questions, just let me know, and please let me know. There I will also share with you some resources that you can use to learn the Swift. For example, you can also use the Stanford open course, Stanford CS193 open course. You can get access of this course on your iTunes U store. It's free, and it's also talking about the iOS 10 apps with Swift, and you can it has lectures, reading assignments, and videos which can better help you to understand the utilization of the Swift and help you to build your own apps. Okay, and next video I will talking about integers and optionals, which is really important because it's kind of different from C and Python language. Okay, see you next video.